I'm now going to turn the microphone over to a good friend and good colleague of mine. He really needs no introduction, and I was telling him I wouldn't give one because of that. But he should be known to many of you because of the many roles he's played. He's played a major role in the New York City Housing Authority. He helped to bring around the Design Excellence Program through his direction as Commissioner of the Department of Design and Construction. And he has recently helped with his colleagues to form a new program that will investigate public space at Pratt Institute. And with that, I would like to introduce my friend David Burney.
Okay, thank you very much, Lance. You know, I think this series at the Center for Architecture is particularly interesting. I mean, the series open to the public and the idea of public space, and it's very timely in a lot of ways. Not least of which I think is because, you know, I think in the past, I don't know, 10 to 15 years, there's been a real sort of paradigm shift in the way we think about cities and about urban design. And as Jan Gehl is so often saying, you know, it's first the people, then the spaces, and then the buildings, because the other way around just doesn't work. And I think that has been the sort of paradigm shifting thinking. And, you know, that mantra has been played out for a long time with organizations like Project for Public Spaces, with Holly White in his research in the 70s, Design Trust for Public Space that also flies that banner. But I think now it's getting much more public attention. It's getting much more attention among urbanists and city policymakers. So it's very timely that this series is talking about that. And I think, in particular tonight, raises the question of how one funds all of this. And it's a question of social equity also, which I think is very much at the heart of policy issues that are going on in the city right now. As Lance mentioned, we are starting a program at Pratt called Urban Placemaking and Management, which looks at the whole spectrum of issues involved in public space. And as many of you practitioners know, it's not only a design exercise. It begins with community engagement, what people need in their neighborhoods, how you serve those needs, how programming is done, how organizing is done, and then, of course, design, landscape urban design, but also economic support, maintenance, and the continuing activity of public space, all sort of important issues that, as practitioners, we perhaps are a little too siloed. And the idea of the Pratt course is to give a much broader overview to placemakers in how that practice might be carried on. But tonight we're going to talk about the issue of who pays. One of the issues with our society is that we don't like to tax ourselves. Joan Byron at the Pratt Center wrote a very interesting research paper. She went to Europe for a year and went to Britain, France, Switzerland, I think, or maybe it was Germany, and looked at how they manage public space. And for the most part, public space in Europe is publicly funded. It is public space. It is paid for by the taxpayer, and there's no question about that relationship. And we don't, unfortunately, have that. We struggle. So then the question is, well, who does pay? And we've tried privately owned public spaces. We have equity issues there because famously the big parks like Central Park that are in wealthy neighborhoods are well endowed privately. And in the outer boroughs in less financially equipped neighborhoods, they're underfunded, and there are social equity issues there. So who pays for it, I think, is a huge issue. And what are the trade-offs, mindful of communities where these private resources don't exist? So we've got three very interesting speakers today. We're going to go in the order in which they are on the little sheet that's on your chair. So I'm not going to give you their bio, because all you have to do is look at the little list, and we'll save some time from doing that. So we're going to start with Diana, then go to Gerald, and then Emily. And they're each going to talk, I think, for 10 or 15 minutes. And then we will have them up front, and we'll get a healthy discussion going about the issues that we're going to talk about tonight.